Hi, this is Jim Gibson. Thank you for joining me today on my channel. Very much appreciated. And today I want to talk to you about a little incident that happened on the Vista Unified School District board meeting one night. Would be of interest to you, and you get an example how your tax money is spent so wisely sometimes. It's amazing. But you know, one of the issues we have in K-12 education is a level of reading. People reading at grade level. Sometimes just don't have people reading at grade level. So we always come up with new ideas, and I say we, I meant them, not me. And so they were presenting one night a brand new, shiny, $5 million reading program. And they said, this is the greatest reading program in the world. This will solve world hunger. This will solve many, many problems we have. Everybody will go home happy, singing and everything else if we spend $5 million on this brand new reading program. And of course, I've been around for a while in that school district on the board of trustees there. And so I asked the question, what was wrong with the last reading program we had? And they said, well, this one's so much better. It is fantastic. It is great. And I said, so what was wrong with the fantastic program that you told me about 4 years ago? You know, the one you said was wonderful, the one you said was great, and probably cost $4 or $5 million also? What was wrong with that program? And of course they said, well, we don't know, but this is better. Oh gosh, it's so much fun being on a local school board. You just learn so much being there. And I said, you know, do you have any proof that this is better? Has there been any independent research to show it's better? How's it different than the last one? And why do we need a program at all? Let me be honest with you. Why do we need a reading program at Vista Unified School District? And everyone, of course, looked at me like, what is he talking about? Well, this is what I'm talking about. You know, we test students every single year, so we know where they're at in their competency going into a class. And we also know the following year when we test them, how much they learned that year. And one of the subject matters that are tested is reading skills, reading ability. So we know what students are doing well in reading. And that's a fact. You can know that. You can study it. You can chart it. It's very easy to figure out what's going on. And you know, and notice a really interesting thing, that there's some teachers that really teach reading very well. And there's others that don't teach reading at all very well. So maybe those new teachers, or teachers that aren't teaching very well, just need some help. And so what I proposed that evening, I said, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Why don't we get these master teachers? Because let me tell you, teaching is hard work. If you really want to do it right, it's going to take a lot of effort to do it right. So teaching is hard work. So I said, why don't we take those master teachers, the ones that really know how to teach our kids reading, that are doing a fantastic job. They're the ones that I want my kids to sit in their classrooms because they're so good. And let's pay them extra money. Let's bonus them because they're so good and they're so professional. I mean, you always want to pay more to a person that can do the job better, right? That's more productive, right? Well, of course, there was immediate objection by the teachers union. You can't do that. It's against the law. I said, it's against the law to pay teachers bonuses? And they said, yes, it is. You can't do that. Well, you know, it's a curious thing. I've been told it's against the law. But do you know who makes the laws in the state of California? It's the legislature. It's the state senators, the assemblymen, and signed off by the governor. Well, you know, when the union collects $1,000 and more, sometimes $1,200 plus, per teacher, per year, and we have 1,200 teachers, that's a lot of money in the state of California. I mean, it's just in my school district back then, it was just $1,200, and that was it. I mean, $1,000, $1,200 per teacher, 1,200 teachers. Wow, that's a lot of money. If you extrapolate that throughout the whole state, that's hundreds of millions of dollars. And you know where that money goes to? It goes to supporting candidates who are running for assembly, who are running for state senator, who are running for governor. So once those people get in office, you know what they do? They go back to their union people that have given them dues from the teachers union, and they say, what would you like us to do? And of course, that's what the teachers union did. They made it against the law in California to pay teachers who are, to bonus them above what the contract says. You can't do it, it's a contract, you can't do it. So here we have master teachers that I would love to have bonused to teach reading skills to some of the junior teachers, maybe even pay the junior teachers to come to that special class on a Saturday afternoon to learn how to do this in a way that's proven successfully. But I couldn't because it is against the law. It's against their contract. And the union was the one that was preventing me from paying those teachers, those great teachers, to come in or stay late one night and pay and teach other teachers that are struggling with the concept of reading. Now, when I talk about reading, I mean, it was really bad a couple of years back. Language, the lazy man's way to teach reading. And so phonics takes a lot more work. And that's one of the things I pushed for from day one, is that every single student must read at grade level and learn phonics. And it's just a shame that I can't take these fabulous teachers and I can't bonus them to teach reading to those who may be the new teachers or those who are struggling to learn how to teach reading. And it's just wrong. But of course, if we did that and we set a precedent, I'm sure within no time at all that the union's best friends out of the teachers would be the ones that were bonus, not those who were master teachers. And we do have master teachers. It's kind of interesting. I worked there on the school district board, or as I attended the board meetings. There was a retired nun, former nun, Catholic nun, and she used to teach, I think it was third grade, second grade might have been younger even. And I asked her one time, I said, how many kids did you have in your classroom? She said 70. I had 70 kids. I said, you had 70 kids in your classroom? She goes, yes. I said, did you teach them reading? She goes, yes. And I said, did anyone leave your classroom and not know how to read? And she said, no, never. I made sure every single one of those students knew how to read before they left my classroom. Yet this isn't happening in K-12. I don't know why, or maybe I do know why. Because we're not celebrating the master teacher. We're just spending money. By the way, $5 million every couple years for a new reading program. Teaching reading is not something that's just been invented last week. I mean, in America, we've been teaching reading very successfully for well over 200 years. But now it's a struggle to get kids to read at grade level. Well, now you know why. There's rules, there's regulations that are put in place that prevent the most talented individuals who are teaching our children to duplicate their efforts. And again, teaching is a hard process, and it's also learning is not an easy process. It takes work on both sides, but the good teachers work hard at this. And I always think the best person to teach a younger teacher or an inexperienced teacher is always those who are successful in what they're doing. Just a quick background, I guess I should have said it earlier. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe. There's going to be a lot more of these videos. I'm running for state superintendent of public instruction. If I win, I'll be the first Republican elected in 50 years to that position. And you wonder why the scores are going down, down, and down, because even that position is completely controlled by the California Teachers Association, the CTA. They will pay every dime for that person's campaign. And another video, I'm going to talk about campaigns and how you can tell the good person, the honest person, most likely the parent from those who are put forward by the labor union. But to make a long story short, I have three things I run for. Accountability. I've always run for this. From day one, I was on the school board for 20 years, and my first campaign, this was my mantra. So it's accountability, holding people accountable. Oh gosh, I wish we could hold people accountable for good and bad. That would really be good. That would help your children. 2, focus on the basics. Reading, math, science, true history, real history, not this garbage they put out today. And then, of course, the other subjects, but it should not be politicized, shouldn't be CRT, another political program that wastes money and wastes your child's time and diverts them from the actual practice of learning. So there are the three things I'm running on. I am really hot on this issue of reading, and one of the reasons why is I taught myself how to read in 10th grade. I went to a really bad public school system in Philadelphia, and they just pushed me on each year, year after year after year after year, and I taught myself how to read in 10th grade. And amazingly, 2 years later, I went to college, and amazingly, I passed college. Started with 35 cents the first day, and I got through college, and of course, master's program, and then of course, I became a captain in the Marine Corps, and started about 3 businesses. All of them been very profitable. So, don't want to think that I had some sort of deficit problem. I didn't have a deficit problem. I had a problem in that school system that refused to recognize that I was struggling with reading and to do any type of intervention. If you have a 3-year-old and they're not reading at grade level, then you need to make sure that you as a parent intervene. And don't put up with this nonsense, we have a program, okay? Don't care about the programs, care about your kids and making sure your kids can read in 3rd grade. Once you hit 3rd grade, if you're not reading, you have a major problem, okay? This is something that should be progressive, obviously, that kids learn how to read bigger words and better words and get better in the language. But if your son or daughter is not reading at grade level by 3rd grade, then you need to be actively involved and find out why. You need to be knocking down that school district door there at the superintendent's office and say, my child isn't reading. Why not? And what are you going to do about it? That's my taxpayers' money. Again, please, thumbs up. Subscribe, hit the bell, and please, if you disagree with me, fine, make a comment. And if you agree with me, please put a comment after the video. More videos to come. Thank you for watching.